Hey everybody, this is Perch. Some people have been complaining about the video. Well, it's half the time I get complaints saying the videos are too like they're too nerdy. They just focus on one topic. They don't ever stray. And then other people comment that they wander around and I talk about other things, muffler noises, RVs, etc. Um, that you know, here I'll use an old thing from Zack. One side says that I need to be more to the point. The other side says I'm too much in a point. The correct answer is fuck you. Sorry. The correct answer is maybe they're both right. No, the correct answer was the first one I said. Anyway, um, let's see what we got. Question for the channel. Hey, Perch, plain and simple question, given the recent, at the time I'm sending this, Twitter thread. It's a good idea that you put that because this will, be posted months from now. I still got some videos that were recorded in May. They're still sitting in there. The other day I'm like, I should just clean these out and not ever post them because some of them are horribly out of date. And then I got to thinking, who gives a shit? And see, that's the kind of spirit that is the Perch show right there. Okay, but let's see what we got here. It says Geoff Johns. We haven't talked about Geoff Johns in a long time. All right, Geoff Johns is an interesting character because he gets insulted half the time and then lionized half the time. And I think the having read a lot of Geoff Johns, I think that he's written some good stuff. I think he's written some mediocre stuff. I think that he's written probably more good stuff than bad stuff. So yeah, that sounds too disparaging. I think he's great. Do I think he's the greatest writer of all time? No, not at all. But do I think he's a good writer? Yeah. Is he a better writer than a lot of the writers currently writing? Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, Geoff Johns keeps getting trashed on more and more due to the Snyder fans' mad hatred for him. Okay? Interestingly enough, I think if a lot of Snyder fans really understood Geoff Johns, they would not be trashing him. To the contrary, I think Johns was probably more beneficial to that cause than not, but I don't think a lot of people understand that. Anyway, to them, he's the worst of the worst. Worse than Joss Whedon, Hamada, etc. The worst is Joss Whedon. Come on. Etc., etc. Every time they get him trending, it's to trash him and say he's the worst creator in comics, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and he's ripping off Alan Moore now, too. Geoff Johns ripping off Alan Moore? That's a stretch. That's a pretty big stretch. Anyway, my question is, and bear in mind, I'm saying all this as somebody who started the video by saying I don't think Geoff Johns is the end-all, be-all shit of the world. I think he's I meant that as a positive. He's not the most amazing creator in the world, but a lot of the hatred is kind of absurd that goes on. Anyway, back to the mail. My question is this: you said before the creator who doesn't speak out and says anything that hurts a brand line, like Teenie Howard. That's not exactly what I said about Teenie Howard, but we'll get there in a minute. Are less likely to have their career compromised than those who do trash talk fans directly. Well, we know Geoff Johns doesn't speak out publicly that much. But on the other hand, the Snyder fans are able to get his name trended on more than anyone in CG has for Teenie to trash him. I think it's a combo, though, of Snyder fans and other fans, because it's not just Snyder fans that go after Johns. In fact, some of the most aggressive anti-Johns stuff is not by Snyder fans. It's by there's a belief, or at least a group of people out there who believes Geoff Johns is one of the baddies for a variety of reasons. And there's been sexism, misogyny, racism. There's all the ism words have been tossed his direction. And I think that with a combo of Snyder fans probably gets him trending more than others. But anyway, that's just my theory. And by the way, on Teenie, I think a lot of people missed the point on the Teenie video. The Teenie video is not that it's not saying anything to hurt the brand. It's that when you're, and again, right or wrong. Again, a lot of people misunderstood. Right or wrong, good writer or bad writer, an editor who's managing multiple books will often gravitate to people who just shut the fuck up and get their job done. Teenie has a reputation for getting the job done. The shut the fuck up is kind of that's almost a red herring or a distraction. It's that, again, it's like if as an editor, as a line person at one of the big two, you're paid on getting books out. You're not paid on moving a comic from 30,000 to 50,000. And yes, that kind of is the problem. It is a problem. People should be paid on success. But if you're paid on get shit out the door, regardless of sales, by and large. Now it's the outliers. If suddenly the comic you're editing starts flying off the shelves at 125,000, you're going to get a lot of power. If suddenly all the comics that you're putting out are selling under 20,000, you're going to lose a lot of power. But if you sit somewhere in that middle zone, and that middle zone's pretty big. It's probably around 20 to 60,000. If you sit in that area, you're getting your check. Is that good? No, I'm not saying it's good. A lot of people, particularly from one side, seem to misunderstand if I say this is the way the world works. It's like, oh, you think that's a good thing? No, but this is the way the world works. I don't know why that's so hard for some of you people to get, but anyway, Teeny gets her shit done on time. From what I gather, if you want something reliable, get something in, Teeny gets the job done. That is a plus to editors who are not paid based on ramping up sales, making crossover properties. So there you go. Is that Teeny's fault? I wish Teeny's scripts were better. I absolutely wish the work was something I wanted to read more. But I do have to hand it to her. Getting your shit in on time is a good thing. Anyway, but we're talking about Geoff Johns here. So the mail continues. So can a Twitter mob at the level of the Snyder fans cause any damage to a career like Geoff Johns? Probably not. Or do you think they overestimate their reach? Yes. Also, why is it that you personally think Geoff has gained such a negative rap lately? Is it just the Snyder fans, or do you think there's more to it? It's not just the Snyder fans. In fact, I don't think the Snyder fans have much of anything to do with that. I think it is almost entirely of the negative stuff. I think the root and the genesis to that are the people who, with the Ray Fisher situation and some of the other things going on, Geoff Johns was seen as one of the baddies at Warner Media who caused a lot of chaos. And I also think that Geoff Johns is, for whatever reason, seen as one of the people who is not in the camp of the Bendis's friends, a lot of the other kind of, comic shenanigans that have gone on. This is not Geoff Johns' personality, by the way, at all. But for whatever reason, people have started to kind of view him as like a Jim Shooter type. Somebody's going to come in and go, we're cutting all the woke stuff and just going for the real stuff. That's not Geoff Johns. That's not. I don't even know how he got tagged into that. But for whatever reason, some of the people who are very negative toward Johns believe that he represents the old institution of comics. Is this absurd? Yes. But anyway, that's where a lot of the anger comes from. I think that's the root of it. I think the Snyder fans tend to come in and just shit on kind of anything that kind of goes against the Snyder. But I mean, at this point, give up. Zack Snyder is not going to do more DC movies. You should give up. I know. Maybe one day Christmas will come and there will be more Zack Snyder movies. But I think that day is over. I think for a variety of reasons. I think, encourage Zack Snyder to go sign that deal at Netflix, and start making that Netflix money. Do the, do a series on Netflix. That's what you should do. That's probably a good thing for Zack Snyder to do. I think that would probably be more successful for his career than anything else. Keeping him tethered and tied to the DC universe is I think a bad move for him. I don't think that helps him. Having this kind of at this point, it's baggage. I don't think any of this. If you're a Zack Snyder fan, and I say this as somebody who liked Sucker Punch. It's better to get him somewhere where he can be successful and do some real damage, and this keeping him forever tethered to this thing in the past that was seen as commercially not successful. And it doesn't benefit him. Why would you do that to him? But anyway, that's what I think. I think too many people, because the Snyder fans are loud, obnoxious, and the real hardcore ones. And so maybe that's why they have kind of the rap that they do, and why people blame them for a lot of stuff. But I think in this case, I don't think it has much to do with it, to be honest. Again, why for whatever reason, people seem to decide that you could side with Tom King and Mariko Tamaki and kind of that crowd, or you could go for Geoff Johns. And Geoff Johns represented the old. And as we saw in Star Wars, the shitty one, Kill the past. You have to subvert expectations and kill the past. And so Geoff Johns coming around going, we need to respect the past. It's like, oh, you're playing to the dude bros. That's how a lot of this stuff got started, and that is where Geoff Johns. I think the hatred for Geoff Johns kind of reveals an ugly truth about one side of this culture war. I don't know even what you call it. You could call it the SJW side. I think even that's too limiting or the wrong. I don't think that's quite it. I think the irrational hatred for Geoff Johns saying, "Hey, the past is actually pretty epic and important. That's the flag I'm gonna plant." People just lined up to go after that. They view it as like, "Oh, so what you're saying is that you hate women." It's like, what? I don't know. The arguments are nonsensical, absolutely nonsensical, and people forget that John's Injustice Society elevated quite a few female superheroes. So I don't even know. I don't even know with a straight face how you make that attack. But anyway, Snyder fans just want more Snyder movies, and God bless him. Get some movies with him. But get him on some other DC. I mean, why keep digging at that? Why keep knocking on that closed door? Anyway, there you go. There's my feeling on it. Hope that answered your question. Maybe it just raised new ones. So have at it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course. And thanks for listening.